What's up? You know who it is. It's your boy DJ Scream. Time for that buzzing on the block. Always chopping it up with the newest, hottest artists on the come up. And today we got Mr. Miles about to have this conversation with DJ Scream. Mr. Miles, what's up with you, my brother? What's the word?
How you doing, man? I'm cool.
So give us a little bit a background on you. You know what I'm saying? Let us know how you got started in being a creator and doing music and everything, so that the world can kind of understand where you're coming from.
Oh man, I come from Alabama, man. I started out with a group of friends, and I kind of went my own separate way and kept doing it on my own.
What part of Alabama?
What part of Tuscaloosa is? Where the school is?
Mm-hmm. I've been there. There's some parties and shit there,
Yeah. So maybe about 30 minutes away from there on the south part of that. South side of it.
Yeah. Perfect.
A real small town, man.
Most definitely. So coming from a small town, man, I mean, like, what keeps you motivated or what motivates you? We saw that Mooski came from a real small town and was able to get that hit record through. I had a conversation with him, and I literally, it's funny, I was on the way to vacation. I went to Tuskegee, so I'm familiar with a lot of different parts of Alabama because I did part in Tuscaloosa, Opelika, and you know what I'm saying, all through Alabama. But for him, I was really intrigued because I was like, yo, bro, wherever you're from, I haven't heard of that place. And then he's like, bro, no, listen, like next time you're driving, like you're going to drive through it and like it's going to happen in like a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I actually passed there on the way to a vacation. And I was like, wow, man. But I think it just proves that if you if you got a goal and you focus and you got a good product, regardless of where you're from, man, it ain't necessarily, obviously it might be easier in a bigger city, but regardless of where you're from, if you got a good product, then it's going to eventually catch if you just keep working. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. It's the same thing for me, man. Very small town where everybody knows everybody. You know what I'm saying? And in order to actually advance, I moved to Atlanta. You know what I mean? So, it's literally like, dirt roads and backwoods where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? It's a convenience store and a post office there, man. That's the only thing we had.
How would you describe your sound?
Oh man, I think I try to make the music that people like to ride to, something that they can play more than once. You know what I'm saying? Something that somebody can put it in the car and just ride to. I try to stay in that line, just something that has a lot of replay value to it.
Now, everybody watching gonna ask me, and I just want to know what inspired the hairstyle, because the hairstyle.
I just went with it, man. I just went with it. That's all. I just went with it.
Just went with it. Most definitely. So, how long have you been making music?
Man, for about 7-8 years.
Oh yeah, you've been at it. What do you say? What do you say is your highest point so far, and maybe your lowest point? Like your highest point where you're like motivated, like okay, yeah, this is happening. But then again, of course, like your lowest point where it's like, oh man, I don't know, man. I'm thinking about, what I'm saying, like I'm not so motivated.
Yeah, I mean, I have had the opportunity to sit down in record label meetings, and that was a pretty high point. And it did motivate me, to keep going. And as you would know, it comes with ups and downs, man. You had those moments where you just want to give up. And, for me, I try to stick to it and make sure I don't give up, man. I refuse to give up. And I try to put out the best product that I can, so I try to stick with it, man. But you always have those highs and lows, and having the right people around you too will keep me motivated also, man. So and making sure that I keep the right people around me so I don't, fall back. I try to make sure I got those people around me to make sure I keep going. It's always about advance.
Most definitely. No, I like that. So who, from an influence standpoint, like, who would you say are some of your influences coming from that small town? I already know one, I can guess. Everybody from a small town has one person that's like in the South, but I'm not going to say it. I'm going to let you say, even though I could guess, but I know one of your influences. But who's
Scarface?
Scarface, okay, you got me with that one. No, but Scarface, for sure.
Scarface. He was one of the main guys that my older cousins, listened to growing up, so I couldn't help but to be around it, and it kind of rolled off on me. So definitely Scarface, man. I listened to a lot of T.I., a lot of UGK.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely those guys. Those guys, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're the first person below the Mason Dixie that hasn't even at least mentioned Boosie.
I mean, he's definitely a legend, man. He's definitely a legend. I couldn't help but to grow up around Boosie music everywhere, man. Everywhere.
Yeah, no, everybody below Mason Dixie, Boosie. To some people in the South, Boosie is to the South what Jay-Z is to East Coast rappers. To some or most people, not all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he is, man. Definitely down here, he definitely is that, man. Growing up, we couldn't help but to be around Boosie, Trill, music, all of that, man. It was definitely around, and it was in the clubs anywhere you went to at any time, man.
Mm-hmm. So what like if somebody's like never heard any of your music and they're watching this and they feel in the conversation and they want to tap in with you, like what's the song you would say, man, if you go listen to this song, I'm guarantee you that you're gonna be a fan of Mr. Miles?
I would say one of the songs that I just recently put out, that's called Tough Love. I mean it's sort of like a some ride music, you know what I mean? And it'll put you in the mind frame of trying to stick with it, going back to what we was just talking about, just making sure you stick to your guns and make sure you hustling and doing what you got to do. You know what I mean? Not giving up at all. Yeah. So I would say Tough Love, yeah.
Okay. Got you. And outside of the studio, somebody just wants to know a little more about Mr. Miles. Like, what are you into? Are you a hooper? Are you a gamer? Are you a cooker? Are you like what are you into?
For the most part, man, I like the games and stuff. That Call of Duty, the NBA, NBA Live, 2K, that Madden for sure. And that sort of runs deep in the family right there, So a lot of trash talking.
Well, run deep.
The video game talking trash on it.
Gotcha. I thought you were saying Madden. I'm a retired Madden player, so I can't talk with you. But 3 years ago, before the COVID hit, I would have jumped on with you. So what it was, but I'm retired now. I got a little kid, and I got shift that in.
Definitely in sports too, man. I watch a lot of sports too.
Mm-hmm. So, being from Alabama, are you by like default Roll Tide supporter?
Of course, man. Of course, I have to, man. I have to. There's no other way, man. I can't be any other fan other than an Alabama fan.
It's weird because you see like some people rooted in Alabama, even if they like some people just go Auburn, they just do. But I've seen some really weird schools. People from Alabama will support. It's weird to me, but like Tennessee or Florida or something like that. But most people by default, it's like a culture there. Like if you
definitely, man, that's all it is.
Roll Tide for sure.
That's all it is, man. That school, and I mean, a lot of those fans will be fans of other teams like Tennessee and Florida and stuff because of how they grew up, and they have an uncle or a father or something that is from Florida, so they grew up watching a lot of Florida games or something like that. But for the most part, the majority of the folks down there are Alabama fans or Auburn fans.
Most definitely. So if you was building, and me personally, like I said, I went to Tuskegee, so I know about a lot of the artists, but if you were building like a team with 5 all-time greats from Alabama musically, like what would that team be?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Rich Boy would definitely have to be in there.
Rich Boy, salute. I like that.
Oh man.
Want me to give you some hints?
Yeah. Give me a couple names.
I'll just go throw a name out. Doe B.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Doe B, then Rich Boy.
No particular order.
Yeah.
I feel like they were known for one record, but what they did at the time was unheard of. I don't know if you remember Dirty.
Of course, man,
I
of
like
course,
that.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a big thing going too. Like they were very popular. Like somebody like Mr. Big too. Mr. Big, I mean,
It's the big.
yeah,
And then my honorable like mentions, and I don't want to forget anybody, but like Eldorado Red, I like him from the street side. I don't know if you remember Deuce Comrades, but there was personal homies back then. That's way back. That's some
yeah.
Montgomery Comrades. And the only thing I never heard of like no female rappers popping out of Alabama. I'd like to put a female in there, but that ain't happened yet.
Nah, it hasn't, man. It should definitely. It's a few people down there, that needs to be heard. But again, they're from small towns, just like I was, man. A lot of that, they'll have to get outside of their own town in order to actually proceed, man, and go forward.
So what's a win for you, man? Now that you're in the game, you know what I'm saying, you're making connections, you're having some label meetings, you know what I'm saying, I'm sure you're hustling, working real hard, creating as much music as you can, quality music. What's a win for you? What's considered a win for you?
A win for me, man, is making sure that I can continue putting out quality music and making sure I surround myself with the right people. I mean, it's still it's easy to get caught off guard and go down the wrong path. But for me, just making sure that I stay focused because it's you see a lot of stuff that's going on, and I don't want to get distracted either, man. So win for me is to be able to stay focused on making the music and actually touching the people. So I think I definitely know I still have a long way to go, but touching the people, man, is the thing.
Most definitely, man. That's some dope words from Mr. Miles, man. All right, so if everybody want to check out music, I don't know if you got a website, an Instagram, I don't know if you got merch, I don't know what you got, but now the time to pop it a little bit, man. Let everybody know what you got going on, where they can tap in with you, how they can tap in with you, and
Tap
everything.
in with me, man, on Instagram, Mr. Miles Music, on Twitter, Mr. Miles MW3, Facebook, Mr. Miles Music. Just tap in with me, hit me up, let me know what you think of the music.
Okay, cool. And then that one person you just can't wait to get in the studio with, so we could just put it out there and start to manifest it, man. That one person.
Tip. Yep.
You halfway there, man. You got a certain number in your phone, but it gets you halfway to tip. You gotta push the line.
Huh?
You gotta push the line.
Yeah. I feel what you're saying. Yeah, that's definitely one of the people I look up to it with when it comes to music, man, and somebody I want to work with for sure.
Most definitely. All right, well, salute to you, man. Hopefully this is not the last time I speak to you. Look forward to seeing you around. You know what I'm saying? Definitely gonna check out some more of the music. I checked out a couple joints on your page, and much love and success to you, my brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate everything.
All right, y'all know what it is. Buzzing on the block, DJ Scream, Mr. Miles. Salute.